Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting Minecraft tutorial. I am Tyken, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a proper lava fireplace. I am going to be doing more designs and more complicated things later on, but for now I'm just going to show you the basics of how to actually do this without messing it up too much, as well as some basic little things you can do to save on space. As it stands, this is the bare minimum you can have, at least in terms of making the actual staircase appear, and not just the lava. As far as I know, there's not a smaller design you can make, although you could try to do something smaller with just a single passageway instead of a double stair passageway. But we'll get into that in another episode with other variations. Today is just going to be the basics. As you can see, I already have all this stuff lined out. I'll go ahead and explain some of these pieces in just a moment. But first, let's get started with this. This is one of the most smallest, compact T flip-flop designs you can possibly have. I'm going to briefly explain how it works and I suppose why you need it. First of all, T flip-flop basically turns a single pulse into a lever, so a button into a lever more or less. If you're wondering why we don't just use a lever, well, it's a little more complicated than that, and for some obvious reasons. So anyway, what we're going to have here is essentially you have a single block in the bottom dispenser. You can use droppers, whatever, anything that shoots an item up. This one's, well, I'll go ahead and show you how to make this. We're going to do an in-depth thing later, but first of all, you're going to have this one facing here, this one facing up, this one facing here, and it's essentially just going to make one big loop. And what it will do is when you press the button, it'll shoot the item up into here, up into there, up into there. And essentially once it's in there, the computer will be like, oh crap, there's something in here, let's turn on the signal, as such. And then when you press the button again, it will shoot through all over again and, essentially do that. Oop, wait, I didn't mean to get rid of that. My mistake. Not that it matters too much. Quick and easy to replace. And then we'll just slap another button on here. Okay, this, I forget what redstone component this is called, but I'll include it in the description. Essentially, all this is 6 blocks and a repeater. Well, a couple of repeaters. All this other stuff attached to it looks intimidating and confusing, but if you look at redstone, it's all just about components and fitting them together. What this does, essentially, is when the signal goes through, it turns on everything in order, starting with this one, that one, that one. And then when you turn it off, this one goes off first, then this, then that. It essentially turns it off kind of in order. Like the last one to get turned on is the first one to lose power. Let me go ahead and give you guys a quick visual example on how this works. Let me just search for it instead of actually looking around. Okay. As it stands, none of these are getting redstone signals, but we press the button, on. And then we press it again, off. Hope that explains it a little more simplified than I just did. Anyway, the rest of this stuff is essentially just connecting the redstone to the proper components and making them go off in their proper order. I've tried making this shorter by removing the torches and just making that one a constant on, but torches add additional ticks, and if I got rid of them, I would just have to replace them with repeaters anyway. So thus far, without getting overly complicated, this is the most simple way to do it. Okay, I'm going to be rebuilding all this just so you can see step by step how to do it. But we'll go ahead and load this thing up real quick and show you guys how it looks exactly from my Let's Play video. So let's see. The stairs would go right here. And the slabs would go right there. And then all we have to do is just kind of surround it afterwards so it looks like it blends into the floor. And as you can see, if you continue this pattern, it looks like it's completely in the floor. And of course, you can raise and lower the rest of this stuff. You can honestly fit this all directly beneath your floor, no matter how thin or tall it is. You can put carpet directly under this, although you may have some particle effects coming up, but it's a different problem for another time. Okay, we go ahead and flip the button, and as you can see, the slabs pop down, the stairs replace them, and you can just walk down into your secret lair. And then, of course, when you press it again, oops, it pops back up like it was never there in the first place. Okay, now that I've finished my long-winded explanation, let's go ahead and build this from scratch to show you guys how to do this properly. I'm going to be using blue wool for the most important blocks, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. We'll have it facing this way. First, we're going to build one of the most important aspects of this particular machine. let's go ahead and load up my, there we go, my redstone. We're good and put the comparator, actually, let's not put it there yet, just so we don't confuse anyone. From the inputs, and let's go ahead and switch it back to day. From the input, which is going to be on this side, you could switch it to the other side, but that means you kind of have to mirror everything and reverse it. So we're just going to build it kind of exactly like that. So let's see. First of all, you're going to make it kind of make a loop. As such, you're going to make it go this way, and then you're going to leave these two blank, at least for now. You're going to kind of make a U. However, these are going to go across like that, all pointing towards the direction of your machine. As again explained before, it's going to send the signal through here, turning all these on, this one first, this one last, and then it's going to turn off in the reversed location, or reversed redstone current. Anyway, the first thing you're going to have to do is put a tick on each single one of these, the ones facing left and right, not the ones facing forward. This one right here, the bottom left one, is going to require 2 ticks. Don't ask me why. Redstone is even confusing for me sometimes. But make sure it goes off in its proper order. Gives it a little more time to do what it needs. May not be as fast as it could be, but you know, we'll get to that in a second. But first we're going to go ahead and drop a comparator right here. And then of course we're going to build the flip-flop I showed you guys earlier. And then top it off with a dropper. Throw a button on there. And it's pretty much done. That quick, that easy. You just throw an item into it and you're good. And you can turn it on and off. Just like so. Already we have a major part of the machine already in place, and it's quickly and easy to do. Of course, you can replace this button with any number of things. Just say you have the button all the way over here. You can just take it, run a redstone current, and it will work the exact same way. All it requires is redstone going to that block, and you're fine. Okay, next what we're going to do is redstone torches on these 2 blocks, and this one's just going to be by itself. First of all, we're going to start with this one. What we're going to need to do is, as you can see here, you're going to need roughly just 1 space away from the torch. So we're going to have to come over here. We'll go ahead and place this one down first, just so you guys know where to start. Actually, we'll do the middle one first, just so we have a better idea of where to place everything, because this can get entirely confusing. So, middle one first. And again, it doesn't really matter what order you build this in, as long as the redstone goes off in the correct order, which after we're done, it totally should. So, you're going to place 1 redstone dust right there. And again, as you can see, the repeater pushes it into the block, which pushes it into the dust, and you're good. Okay, as you can see, it activates both these pistons. Now, the reason we do that is if it was long, it wouldn't connect to the piston, and it would just cause problems in general. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 pistons directly under where this is. Essentially what this is going to do is push up whatever block needs to be in place. So let's go ahead and grab, well, let's go ahead and get these out of the place, because we don't need these pistons there right now, and it may interfere with the visual. So you're going to have this come here. It's going to connect right there, but you can easily fix it by just putting a block on top of it. Pretty simple, easy fix. Don't really have to explain too much. Right here, we're going to put a repeater. Then we're going to put a block right here. It's going to push the signal into this 1 block, and as you'll see, it'll activate it. And we're also going to put it right here on this blue wool right here. Again, it doesn't have to be blue wool, just a block there, but it's an important block that you can't get rid of. Again, you can see how everything activates right here. And then we can just put these back. Okay, the last one is a little tricky, but shouldn't be too hard for even newbies. So you're going to put a piston 1 space from the other side of these pistons pushing up from underground. What we're going to do here is a little bit of trickery with redstone. You're going to have this redstone connect to this piston. But from here, you're going to have 1 redstone directly under it. I'm not sure if most of you know this, which if you have no idea about redstone, you probably don't, but pistons aren't considered a full block. They're like slabs. A redstone can go through it. So not only will this apply redstone current directly to it, but you can continue on from under, which makes this drastically easier. Okay, from here, you're going to dig down a bit, because First of all, we're going to have stairs right here, if it's going to be coming down, of course. You could honestly just open this up and then have it go straight for, whatever reasons or purposes you can do with it. So anyway, but we also don't want the redstone touching these pistons. It shouldn't mess with it being a long straight line, but sometimes pistons can be tricky. So anyway, we're going to just go ahead and actually just do it like that. You can have the redstone come down here, except for right here, you're going to put a repeater, which will essentially just push the signal into this block, which will in turn light up this redstone signal, lighting up that block, lighting up that piston. Pistons and repeaters and how they work make it a little tricky. Quick explanation. Okay, you guys know how redstone blocks work. Let me see if I can find one. Here we go. It's essentially a power conduit for redstone. No matter what redstone you put on it, on top of it, near it, it will power it. Essentially, what a repeater does is when you... Let me go and load this up. When you apply power to it with a repeater, it turns that block into a redstone block for all intents and purposes. As you can see, no matter where you place it near the block, it turns into a signal. Just for a brief little explanation for those that have no idea for redstone. Okay, as you can see here, pretty much everything is completely done in terms of mechanics. Let's go ahead and just cover up the essential components and get everything ready. Okay, in its current state, you just put the stairs right there. And you're going to put the slabs on top of it. Now what's going to happen was when you press this, as you could see, those bottom pistons drops first, then these pulled them back out of the way, and then these pistons push forward, completing the circuit and making stairs right there. And then in turn, you would have stairs here, presumably coming down, or maybe even just a flat brick, for instance, and make a bit of a hallway. So, you could just keep going straight forward. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to go down. Just, it's essentially hidden, and the stairs make it easier in terms of space. So, let's go ahead and finish this up. We'll go ahead and show earlier how it worked in terms of camouflage. So just say you have a wall here, for instance. Of course, it's not going to be a full wall. It's going to be a fireplace or something you can pull back easily. When you press the button, oops, pops up, hides it completely. Then when you press the button, it opens it back up. And again, you wouldn't be able to just walk through that. It would be something you could maybe even pull back with pistons or something. But this is a generally adaptive design. It just reveals a secret staircase in its proper order. Okay, next is sort of a hard part. I'm going to be kind of doing it to the side. It's not incredibly hard. It's just more annoying rather than anything. So this would be the fireplace design, which we could probably build over there, but we'll go ahead and do it here for now. We're not going to need that. We're going to need a dispenser. There's a couple ways you can do this. I have it set up slightly differently. Of course, this is all based on your preferences, your resources, your space, and how hidden you actually want it. So for now, I'm going to make the most hidden design possible with the least amount of space and redstone used. So this is going to be for the new guys that have no idea how to do this and don't care too much. Okay, and in practicality, like, you could honestly leave it like this, although you would probably want something right here either way, whether this is a full floor or not, just to prevent lava from pouring out. I think you might be able to also use carpet, but it can be tricky at times. So, also, what we're going to do is you could also have a full half-slab floor like I have in my living room, and then it just kind of blends in seamlessly. Okay, you know what? I'm having a bit of a speech problem, so we'll just skip that word. Okay, now essentially, this is just to show you, because we'll connect it to that later when we attach it onto that. First thing we need to do is get some signs. Signs are amazing because they hold back liquids, they don't burn, and they're just overall awesome. So, first thing we're going to do, presumably you're going to have this drop down or open up or something. That way you can continue forward. What you're going to need to do So I just got rid of my sign again. Whoops. I have no idea why my signs and stuff are messing up, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, you put a sign right there at the bottommost corner. Oops. Okay, what essentially is going to happen, if I can place these properly, is when the lava drops down, either from right here or higher up, it's going to drop right here and then pull down and in front right here. It gives it kind of a nice waterfall design instead of fully flat or boring. It, you know, gives it just a little nice visual. There's other designs you can try, but, you know, this one works the best in my opinion. So let's go ahead and make sure this doesn't leak back any further. We're just going to put signs here because I don't want to block off too much of everything so you guys can still see all the visuals. Going to get rid of this, grab some lava buckets, throw them in here. And then essentially when this receives redstone signal, which is generally going to be the button press, it's going to be connected to that but not connected to the output. Meaning whenever you press the button to turn that on, it will turn that on. So it will be a single button press rather than a flip-flop press. So flip this on, dispenses lava, flows forward, looks nice. The only problem is if you have a completely flat floor, like just say like this, instead of the slab, someone might be able to notice the dispensers up there and be like, yo, what's up with this? Why would he need to get rid of the lava like that? So it does look a little suspicious. However, if you have half slab floors, it's kind of almost impossible to tell that there's anything right there. And, you know, if this doesn't have signs, it's completely blocked off. So you can sacrifice just a little bit of secrecy, provided half slabs help the most, but, you know, not too many people notice too much unless your dispensers drastically stick out in your texture pack. So anyway, and then you just press the button again, gets rid of the lava, and unlike my complicated fireplace, the lava has to get rid of itself naturally, which means you're not going to have instant access to your fireplace, but it's a little more dramatic and will greatly reduce both the material and knowledge required to build it. Another thing you can do, as long as you still have some space, because as it stands, this is an incredibly simple design. All you have to do is essentially hook up this redstone signal to that thing, which we'll get to in a moment. One thing you can do is if you do have a completely flat floor, you can increase or decrease the visibility of your droppers, or dispensers rather, by simply moving it up one. Oops. Oh, no. Sorry, wrong block. So just place it up one more, and then when the lava flows down, let's just place these. Drop one in there, one in there. Need my redstone. And up top. When it drops down, it's not even noticeable from the very top, or from the very bottom, even if you go down one. Again, if someone's suspicious of you might having a fireplace, i.e. they know of my videos and my designs, then they may be a little suspicious and try to find the button. But if you have any sort of protection, the only way they can get in is via button, which any decent servers will have at least some form of protection of your house and such to prevent griefing and things such as this. And of course, you can always protect your designs by making your fireplace looking fancier. If I can find the proper stairs, you can just put that there for now. Give it kind of a nice little overhang like such, kind of similar to my fireplace, and no one should really know anything is here. Of course, that doesn't look an amazing design, but you know, you get the point. As long as it doesn't interfere with the redstone, you can make this thing look however you like. Anyway, that's the most basic design. We're going to go ahead and build it over here just to give you a quick heads up, and then we're going to be done. This is pretty much the last bit of the tutorial, just combining these two elements together. And sorry, I kind of speak too fast. My mouth can't keep up. So, okay. What we're going to do is have this come back just a little bit. Of course, you don't have to make it this long. You're going to theoretically put it into the wall or side of a mountain or something, just to make it completely invisible to anyone that might want to come through. And again, starting from this staircase, you're going to put it right there. Oops, not there. Right there, right there. And that doesn't really matter so much from there. Although, if you wanted to, you could have like stairs like this, so it looks like, you know, going down as you go down. So just say right there. Oh wait, wrong one. So, you know, your staircase would kind of be going down and you would follow with it. And of course you can just make this like a forward hallway once you come down, or you can make it continue with the staircase and have it go further down, however you prefer. So anyway, we have the basics. This is everything you need right here. We're going to go ahead and add the dispensers. Dispenser, that's the dropper. There we go. We'll just go ahead and put them right here for now, for all intents and purposes. And also we'll cut down on redstone just a bit by putting it lower. Then we just need to wire this part right here. There we go. And then let's have this come down. And oh, no, don't want that. Although I suppose in theory you could just block this off right here. I don't know if it would affect the piston too much, but we can find out. But either way, you want it to be on the kind of same, you know, so you don't have to make any zigzags. Okay, now just say, for instance, your button to open the secret door was way over here. Of course you would have to have the appropriate redstone and everything and make sure the repeater puts the signal far enough, but just say right about here. As it stands, there's no lava right there, and the lava place is completely open for you to get through. Let's just get rid of that. And we need 2 lava buckets to again fix this upright. Throw one in there, one in there. Okay, now what we do, actually, you know what? Let's have it be this button so we can actually kind of watch it from here. We'll actually have it kind of more this way. Yeah, that looks good. So just say it's, well, you can honestly put it wherever you like. Honestly, you'll probably want it somewhere kind of far away from the fireplace, so it's not obvious or easy to get to. And if you've seen in my Let's Play video, it's in the kitchen, the button to open this. So you can never really watch it open unless you put it on a delay, but, you know, it works. And then, of course, you can put a repeater there to simply just push it through, and it should get all the way there. But just in case, we're going to put a repeater here just to make sure it gets there. Okay, so now we're watching. You just flip the switch right here. It closes that up. The lava comes down. From this angle, you can't tell there's even dispensers there, but of course that's with half slabs. And of course you can't even get into it if you've tried, which also makes it a good incinerator to get rid of items you don't want. So, you know, kind of a 2-in-1. Anyway, again, the one problem is if you have, you know, floors that aren't half slabs, you may be able to see those. But if you have like stone or some other material that blends in with your dispensers, it could also help. But again, if that's a problem, just move it up one and it will be not a biggie at all. In fact, generally recommend moving it up one so you can't see the dispensers. But again, whatever. Time limitations. So anyway, we press the button again. The lava gets rid from the dispensers. The lava will spill out a bit once it opens, because the lava takes longer to dissipate than it takes for this to open. But as long as you don't mind waiting, it will dispense on its own. You can use dirt blocks to get rid of it as well. And you just pop down in, and go out. One of the coolest features you can do is just say you want to close it up once you're inside, which, let's be honest, who wants to leave their secret entrance open, you know, in case spies or whatever get in? You're going to want to make it where, you know, it isn't a one-way directional thing. So press this from the inside. As long as everything connects, it'll flow over and you're perfectly fine. Of course, in this particular angle, you are completely able to jump and move into the lava, so be careful of that. And then, of course, you can open it again once you're done, but you will have to wait for it to open again. One thing you can do, provided you have plenty of space, resources, and knowledge, is put sticky pistons on the side of these. You won't want to put it where the signs are. But for instance, for this particular design, since it directly removes the lava source block from right here, you don't need a piston here. So what you can do is just put sticky pistons right here. And when you push the signal through, it'll also activate these. Of course, you actually have to have redstone to them, which slightly increases the space required, and it also requires that you hide them somehow. So if your fireplace looks something like this, which not a bad design, you can do any number of things, although, you know, maybe not wood, of course. Anyway, you hide those, make sure they're all hidden and good. And then from there, it just instantly pushes in, gets rid of the lava when you press the button. For instance, let me see if I can rig something up proper. I don't know if that will work. Let's go ahead and put a redstone signal to it. Get rid of that. And that. Top one doesn't seem to work, but you can always just, you know. Why isn't it going on top of that? Either way, you know, can figure that out later, but that's more complicated designs for another time. As it stands, is the most simple design I could possibly come up with, as well as the least resource intensive, and requires virtually no knowledge of how any of this redstone stuff works. All you have to do is pretty much follow the simple guide on where to put things. I do plan on, however, making an in-depth redstone tutorial guide, showing off some basic circuits, what you can do with them, as well as explaining how and why they work. But for any people intimidated by redstone, all you need to know is that redstone is fairly simple as long as you're not trying to create anything too complex or develop something new on your own. As it stands, before I even built this thing, I had no idea how to make this or make it work. I just looked up the circuit I needed, asked some questions on the forums, and I found this. So if you ever need help or need to figure out what kind of redstone contraption, there's always plenty of help, suggestion, and guides. But, you know, hopefully my next tutorial will help with that. I hope this was all helpful for you. I hope to see you guys build your own fireplaces, and I'll see you guys next time.